is claiming they offered A'ja Wilson more money than Caitlin Clark to play in this league. Well, fans saw this, and they're not buying it. So Wilson's offer was more money than Caitlin Clark. Although that is...
Recent reports suggest that A'ja Wilson indicated she had been offered a contract potentially worth more than the widely discussed deal associated with Caitlin Clark. The timing of the claim drew attention, as it surfaced shortly after Clark was reported to have declined a similar offer, leading to speculation about the broader context. Some observers interpreted the statement as more than a casual remark, viewing it instead as a strategic effort to shape the public narrative before assumptions took hold. Adding another layer to the discussion, rumors also suggested that Wilson ultimately declined the proposal as well, reportedly for reasons comparable to Clark's.
Did do this, Caitlin heard about it and said, nah, go bleep yourselves. A'ja Wilson's drawing 450,000 viewers, and I'm drawing 2.5 million. But I also understand that she really values the offseason. That's where she has risen her.
If the reports are accurate and the decision was about prioritizing rest and long-term planning, it still raises a natural question. Why address it publicly at all? The conversation seemed less about the financial details and more about positioning within a rapidly shifting spotlight. In today's media landscape, perception matters just as much as performance, and statements can influence how the public frames a changing era in the league. For A'ja Wilson, the moment is especially complex. As one of the most accomplished and dominant figures in the WNBA, her resume speaks for itself. Multiple All-Star selections, Defensive Player of the Year, honors, championships, and credentials that resemble a future Hall of Fame profile. For years, she set the standard both statistically and culturally, combining elite performance with visibility, endorsements, and admiration from younger players who modeled their games after her. However, the arrival of a new wave of attention around players like Caitlin Clark has altered the dynamics of coverage and marketing momentum. Dominance on the court does not automatically guarantee dominance in headlines or commercial focus. In that context, public comments can carry layered meanings, signaling control, caution, or simply an effort to clarify the narrative during a period of transition in women's basketball.
SBJ that Clark's offer was $1 million plus equity in the business. Quote, I believe they offered more than Caitlin Clark because I know what they offer.
None of A'ja Wilson's success was handed to her. She built her reputation through relentless work, championship pressure, and consistently elite performances that made her the first name mentioned in conversations about greatness. For years, she defined the standard in the WNBA, earning MVP honors and establishing a resume that left little room for debate. Her position at the top felt secure because it was earned through results, not hype. Then, an unexpected surge of attention began forming around a college guard whose performances were impossible to ignore. Caitlin Clark. Her deep shooting range, eye-catching highlights, and staggering statistics generated widespread buzz. Fans weren't just impressed, they were captivated. At first, there was little reason for Wilson to feel concerned. As the reigning MVP and established face of excellence, she had already proven herself under pressure and built a legacy that could not be erased overnight. No rising star could instantly undo years of dominance. At that time, it still felt like her league, her era, and her stage, and that belief was entirely understandable.
I mean, it's a mixture of both. Like, I want to be known as one of, like, when you're talking about GOAT to the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, A'ja, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like, I want to be up there in that category.
That conversation.
Like, I need that in order for me to sleep at night.
The early whispers did not disappear. They intensified. What began as viral clips evolved into full-game takeovers, and the conversation shifted from "she's talented" to "this could be transformational." That change placed A'ja Wilson in unfamiliar territory, observing the momentum rather than solely commanding it. The dynamic was no longer just about performance on the court, but about attention, visibility, and cultural impact. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, she did so with unprecedented media focus. She was not covered like a typical rookie. She arrived as a headline-driving figure who influenced broadcast priorities, ticket demand, and sponsor interest. The discussion began shifting from identifying the league's best player to identifying its biggest attraction, and that distinction carries significant weight in modern sports. As financial speculation and endorsement conversations entered the picture, the volume of debate only increased, amplifying the sense that the league was experiencing a broader transition beyond basketball itself.
Way Wilson was determined to take the winter off. It goes on to talk about that she wants to rest her body. Wilson's offer was more money than Caitlin Clark, although that is
Reports indicate that Caitlin Clark declined a lucrative offer that many athletes would accept immediately. A rookie turning down a deal of that magnitude does not simply signal confidence. It suggests leverage and long-term strategy. It reflects an understanding of market timing, brand value, and future negotiating power. Once that narrative emerged, the discussion shifted. It was no longer just about popularity. It became about influence. The ability to wait, to negotiate, and to potentially secure stronger terms later represents a different level of control. Looking back at her college career helps explain why her value surged. Her scoring records were not accidental. They were built through performances that reshaped defensive schemes and transformed regular matchups into national events. As her visibility expanded, endorsement interest followed. Brands often move quickly when they recognize a cultural inflection point, and Clark's rise represented more than a strong season. It signaled momentum that extended beyond the court. That growing commercial attention inevitably altered the broader conversation within the league. When financial speculation and strategic decisions intersect with on-court dominance, comparisons intensify. For established stars like A'ja Wilson, the evolving spotlight creates a new dynamic where attention, market gravity, and performance coexist in complex ways. The discussion is no longer centered solely on who excels statistically, but also on who shapes headlines, sponsorship strategies, and the league's next phase of growth.
On Unrival's inaugural 3-month season starting January 17, they have a lot of money, and they offered her a lot of money.
When Caitlin Clark reportedly declined a major offer, the story gained even more momentum. The decision did not appear hesitant. It looked strategic. In professional sports, the first major proposal is not always the strongest one, and the willingness to walk away can signal long-term leverage. For a rookie to turn down a headline figure suggests confidence in future value and a clear understanding of market positioning. In a league still expanding its commercial ceiling, that kind of move sends a message without requiring a press conference. Soon after the rejection became public, reports surfaced that A'ja Wilson had been offered an even larger deal. The timing intensified debate because the focus shifted from performance highlights to financial comparisons. It created the sense of a broader chess match, two stars navigating the same spotlight in very different ways. Clark remained measured and quiet, while Wilson's side ensured her number was known. Both approaches can project confidence, but they also reflect how carefully narrative and perception are managed in today's sports environment. This situation extends beyond a single endorsement figure. The WNBA is experiencing growth not only in competition, but also in influence, merchandise sales, media coverage, and marketing focus. Wilson represents established excellence built on championships, awards, and consistent dominance. Clark represents momentum, reach, and the ability to reshape attention almost overnight. The contrast highlights a broader shift. Power in modern sports is no longer defined solely by on-court production, but also by audience gravity and commercial impact. For years, the league's hierarchy was clear. The most dominant player naturally became the central figure. Wilson earned her place through sustained performance and leadership. Clark's emergence, however, has demonstrated that influence can operate on multiple levels. When a player can decline a major offer and allow the market to adjust around her, it signals participation in shaping the league's economic future, not just competing within it. Ultimately, this conversation is less about rivalry and more about evolution. It reflects a league entering a new phase where legacy, leverage, visibility, and performance intersect. Whether one views it as protecting a crown or redefining what the crown represents, the larger truth remains. The WNBA's landscape is expanding, and with expansion comes a rebalancing of how influence is measured, both on and off the court.